Hi there, I hope you're all doing well. This week I tried out a new colour scheme for a Plague Demon army using the Druid for Age of Fantasy quest. Kicking off, I primed them black and used grey castle for all of the more solid looking parts around the neck and the head. Being a light colour, this does take a couple of coats to fully cover that black, but it does turn out okay in the end for the shadow colour. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Do also join Discord, use the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been hobbying on, or just hang out and chat. I hope you enjoy the video and find it useful. The next step on the carapace type of thing is a highlight with Grimy grey across all of the areas in the light, making sure I get every edge. To polish off these parts, I give the edges a quick highlight of Offwhite, just bringing up the sharpest parts, getting a bit more variation in there. For all of the softer skin on the Druid themselves, I went with a nice vibrant colour to start with. This is started with Sorcerer's Cloak as the base colour. Now onto the mid-tone, I went around with Runic purple and brought up the majority of the skin again, just leaving that darker tone in the shadowed parts and some of the deeper recesses. With the mid-tone all finished up, there isn't too much to add as an extra highlight too, but for these small parts I used Amulet purple, just touching them up a little bit more. The next big part on the mini is the grey cloth parts. These all kick off with deep grey as the base coat. I went with this colour as I want to keep it neutral, just to let that purple be the main standout colour of this mini. Starting to brighten up the cloth, I went around with uniform grey, covering the majority again. The darker tone is just left in the deeper recesses under the folds and the shadowed parts. The brightest parts of the cloth are now touched up with Carcharodon grey, in a bit of a scratchy pattern so it looks a little bit more worn and not fresh off an assembly line. Getting into a fairly long step now, I grabbed German camo black brown to go over all of the wood, leather, mushrooms and the base. After all of the base coating is finished, I used Noble Steed Brown to start bringing up the raised parts of the leather and the wood. I'm a bit more scratchy with this step as I didn't want to go hard on getting full coverage. When painting wood, I find it better to leave some of that darker tone coming through just to get a bit more variety in there. This variation is then pushed a little bit further with Dust Bowl across all of the edges facing upwards and some of the sharper corners. That is the druid all finished now until the washes, but before that the little friend needs painting up. To start off, I base coat it with Hydra Green over all of the remaining skin. While I had this out, I went around and base coated some of the leaves as well on the carapace and in his pouch. Getting some depth into there now, I stippled and laid around some of the frog with Jade Green, keeping all of the shadow parts the darker tone, including all of the underside. It is then finished off with a scratchy stipply highlight of gold green across the top of the raised areas in the light. Like with the wood, I don't go for full coverage. I want the midtone to still show through on some of these areas as a bit more variety. To finish off the mini, I had a couple of washes. First off, I used smoke grey across the grey cloth and the bright carapace on both the druid and the frog. The other wash is purple tone across all of the skin on both the frog and the druid. I used purple tone on the frog as the purple works really well for a shadow colour on the green and it just tints it a little bit darker. Since the grey wash was still wet, I also wet blended these together around the bottoms of the carapace, adding a little hint that they are growing out of the actual druid. And that was it for the druid. They came out okay. I'm still not sure how I want to paint this army up. This is better than my last attempt, but I don't think I could do a full army looking with this scheme. I may just go down the route of a different units being different schemes and lean into the more fungal vibe I get with these sculpts. That's for another day though, after I finish off my war demons. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You could also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been hobbying on or just hang out and chat. For those of you who want to pick up some more painting supplies or just some new minis, there are a couple of affiliate links in the description below. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.